when my daughter was 2, I started watching little kids' videos and programs with her. And now I had this incredible spidey sense about how women are portrayed. And I was absolutely stunned to see what I perceived to be a huge dearth of female characters in these entertainments made for kids. I decided I needed the numbers. If I was going to have an impact, just my impression was not having any impact on them, so maybe if I got the numbers. This is where my life took on a whole new direction as a data head, like you all. And I know what the ratio of male and female characters is in movies and TV because about 8 years ago, I founded my research institute on gender in media because I wanted the answer to one very specific question. I wanted to know how many female characters there were in these entertainments that were made for kids. And so we now have conducted the most extensive research ever done on gender depictions in media, covering a 20-year span. And the results were stunning. In family films, for every 1 female character, there are 3 male characters. And of the female characters that did exist, the majority were either highly stereotyped or hypersexualized. Get this, in G-rated animated movies, the female characters wear the same amount of sexually revealing clothing as the female characters in R-rated movies. So by now, you might be thinking, what the heck? These numbers are appalling. I didn't even know this. What could be going on here? But I want to assure you that through our research, we have some positive news. We found that if we add female characters to these entertainments at the rate that we have been, we will achieve parity in 700 years. My organization is dedicated to cutting that in half. And we will not stop until we've achieved that. So we have to ask ourselves, what message are we sending to boys and girls at a very vulnerable age if the female characters are one-dimensional, sidelined, stereotyped, hypersexualized, or not even there at all, right? We're saying that women and girls are a little bit less important to us than men and boys. So what do we do with all of this? What we do is take the research directly, because I'm in the industry, directly to the studios, the networks, the guilds, and present it to them. And they have had a consistent reaction, which is utter shock. Their jaws are on the ground. They have no idea that they were leaving out that many female characters. And in fact, they're like, why would we do that? We're making stuff for kids. Why on earth would we do that? The cure for seeing negative images that impair girls' self-esteem is to show better images, to show empowering images, to show women and girls taking up half the space in the world. So the media itself can be the cure for the problem it created. The most fabulous thing, of course, that happened to us recently was to receive one of the Global Impact Awards, which is incredibly, incredibly meaningful to us, not only in itself, but because of the extra attention that it brings to the work we're doing. Because right now we do the research in the traditional way, it's very time-consuming and labor-intensive. We have like 60 grad students watching all the films and TV and taking the numbers down. So with this, and it can take, for a big study like the ones we do, it can take almost a year to get it completed. But with this grant, it's going to be aimed at creating the software that will allow us to do the research much faster, much more precisely, effectively, and obviously cost-effective. We'll be able to, for the first time, gather global data because it won't cost us a fortune to be able to do that. We'll be able to research in real time. In other words, we can create a new future through what people see in the media. If they can see it, they can be it.